tuko vile vile na aspirant ambaye sasa ile anatoka namna hii ameingia nafasi yake.
Staying in control of the strongholds, Raila canvasses Kakamega and the coast. Plus, sorry, witchcraft is legal here. Foreign witch doctor arrested in Nakuru.
Kuna vitu nyingi za kula kama wanadamu. And I think punda is the last option.
Donkey meat is good, and it has been proved that it does not affect humans.
And fortunes to be made. Kenyans turning beasts of burden into cash cows. Right, welcome to the broadcast. Now, the Orange Democratic Movement Party, ODM, is challenging the ruling Jubilee coalition to explain the source of money they is spending for the launch of its new Jubilee party this weekend. 5 ODM members of parliament, led by its director of elections, Suna East MP Junet Mohammed, want Jubilee to assure Kenyans that it's neither dipping its hands into state coffers nor using billions claimed to have been stolen from public programs like the National Youth Service, the Standard Gauge Railway, Eurobond, and the school laptop projects. KTN senior political reporter Duncan Hyamba begins our broadcast tonight.
A sneak preview of what will unfold both prior to and during Jubilee's grand merger beginning Thursday this week. That is now sending jubilation and condemnation at the same time across the country. A show of political might which the country's biggest political party, ODM, claims demands hard questions be asked.
How did a party yet to be born acquire a building of that value? Vehicles, posters, shilling 10,000 per delegate per day, and the many other goodies being displayed. We want to challenge Jubilee to explain the source of the money it is spending on these projects.
And it is so much money displayed. We feel for once that Jubilee should come clean on where this ability and the financial muscle has come from.
The MPs say majority of the parties amalgamating into Jubilee Party are briefcase parties and that money being spent cannot be personal resources.
We have reasons to fear Jubilee stealing money to finance party activities. While billions have been lost, have been stolen from public programs like NYS, the SGR, Eurobond, the laptop projects, among others, monies we always suspected will be used to buy elections.
Hela za chama ama za vyama vile ambavyo vimeamua viungane na Jubilee. Na kama ni vyama hivi vidogo vidogo ambavyo vimeamua viungane na Jubilee, tunavijua hivi vyama havina hela, havina fedha. Juzi tu vilikuwa vinangana kulipa.
ODM claims Kenya is witnessing the return of politics of money of the kind last seen in 1992 and 1997 that subjected Kenya to serious inflationary effects, a claim Jubilee has dismissed.
Our economy is struggling. It cannot take another such beating, and we will hold Jubilee solely responsible should such effects once again occur.
You know, people can say anything. They can even say I'm a woman. And why become a woman? Because they've said so. No. The event is, as you know, we receive political parties fund. Some of our parties get a substantial amount of money from that fund. And then this is one of the greatest parties in this country.
Unless you show your might, the might goes in political might is equivalent to the votes you're going to get in 2017. And this is not Kenya, this is not, you know, Sisi kwa Sisi, this is not Wiper, this is not Ford Kenya. This is a huge, huge political movement.
Come Thursday 8th, beginning 7 a.m., all affiliate parties within Jubilee that have agreed to amalgamate retreat to their respective NDCs for merger ratification that will subsequently usher in Jubilee Party's grand merger at Kasarani on Saturday. Duncan Hemba, KTN News, Nairobi.
The Big Q in association with DSTV.
Well, it is about political might. That is according to Jubilee. On the big question discussion tonight, we are focusing on this. We are asking you, is ODM justified in questioning Jubilee's spending? Tell us what you think. SMS your yes or no opinion, plus a brief comment to our studio line. The number is 22155. You can tweet us. Join this conversation. Big debate on Twitter at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, at KTN Kenya. The hashtag is KTN Prime. The other hashtag that we're using tonight is Jubilee Deep Pockets. Use that hashtag on our debate. Tell us what you think. We shall be sampling some of your views during this live newscast.
It's the world's best leagues and cup competitions on a different level. It's football unmatched, live and in HD on SuperSport, your world of champions.
Even as the ODM party questions their spending, tomorrow marks the beginning of 3 busy days for the Jubilee coalition as 14 political parties prepare to dissolve ahead of the formal merger on Saturday. As KTN's Moremi Mwangi now reports, the Jubilee Party National Steering Committee has said that the only interim officials of the party are President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto as party leader and deputy party leader.
3 days to the formal launch of the Jubilee Party. The party's National Steering Committee now says the stage is set to officially dismantle 14 Jubilee affiliate parties in less than 24 hours ahead of the Saturday merger.
I'm happy to say that the team is finally delivering on its promise of uniting all the parties in the Jubilee family into one very strong party.
We are not killing democracy. There are 62 political parties in Kenya, and only 14 of us have come together to form a national party.
Substantive. Earlier Tuesday, the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal paved the way for New Fort Kenya Party to dissolve, after dismissing a petition filed by a section of the party members who lamented that they had not been adequately consulted about the merger.
This is a party that is going to unify all Kenyans, and as governors we have also come because we have also been implementing the manifesto of the Jubilee Party in our various counties, and very soon we'll be going around to showcase some of the projects that we have achieved in our various counties.
This is a party of inclusivity, a party of togetherness, a party for the future, and a party representing one Kenya without jeopardizing the democratic space.
PNU will still not dissolve as their issues are addressed.
Are we there?
But with just hours to the individual parties' National Delegates Convention ahead of the merger, the steering committee has denied reports about the existence of any interim party officials.
As only 2 officials. There's the interim party leader who is the president and the deputy interim party leader who is the deputy president. There are no other officials.
As the campaigns gain momentum, it is now clear that the hunt for the 2017 vote will be a show of might between the country's 2 main political camps. Moremi Mwangi, KTN News in Nairobi.
So it begins tomorrow. It will be happening on in 2 places. That is the Kasarani, where URP, TNA, GNU, 4 people, TIP as well. Those will be having their National Delegations Congress meetings at the Kasarani Stadium. At the Bombers of Kenya, UDF, APK, JAP, New Fort Kenya, UPK, and the RC will be having their national congresses at the Bombers of Kenya. We will be covering for you live here on KTN News. Now, the political scramble for Coast Region is getting intense, and the soon-to-be-launched Jubilee Party will be facing one of its biggest tests yet to sell the party to a region considered an opposition stronghold. It is now emerging that the Coast Region is galvanizing to demand a fair share of the Jubilee cake. But is the Coast Region firmly in the nucleus of things, or is it just a pawn in the war games between Jubilee and the opposition? Francis Ontomwa has that analysis from Mombasa.
Na wale ambao wamekwambia Gavana Mvurya nisipomshika mkono mimi ataanguka. Wananchi hawa wanajua hawa.
For quite a while he has covertly kept his cards under the table, leaving even his supporters guessing. But looks like time is nigh to let the cat out of the bag. Kwale Governor Salim Mvurya is the latest high-profile leader that has given in to the Jubilee allure, dumping the political vehicle that catapulted him to governorship.
Tumefanya kazi na naibu rais kwa karibu sana. Na hiyo ndio tunataka kuendeleza kwa sababu wa Kwale tuna agenda.
But even as the new wave sweeps through the region, it is emerging that the Coast Region may well be just prospecting on the political climate ahead of the grand launch of the Jubilee Party. Uncertainties and skepticism are evident as the jostling for positions begin.
Obviously, when a new party comes up, everybody wants to be there. But we are very clear that it's going to be done by consensus, and the initial officials are going to be interim officials. We'll have the jostling when we've won the election in 2017, and now we go into party elections. That's when you'll see real jostling. But for now, it's shadow boxing at best.
Some analysts say that the region's bargaining chip may fail to match the perceived big players in the new formation, something that may push them to the peripheries. Coast overwhelmingly voted for the opposition in the last general election.
Jubilee government may bring them on board, in order to put them at par with the other regions. But, whether they've been fighting to get that position is, is something else. I think the first thing they've been trying to fight, is the perception that Coast is a code zone.
Beatrice Gambo was once a top strategist for the opposition in the Coast Region. She has changed her stand and is now a key policymaker for Jubilee in Coast.
Before Maifa died in 2004, we were in government. And for the after his death, we went into ODM, opposition, in 2007. 2013, we voted again into opposition. We are saying, come on, guys, do we have to be in opposition, for the rest of X number of years?
ODM rebels have vowed to turn over the region's political landscape, and their voices are louder than everyone else.
Wanasema sisi ni marginalized kwa sababu wanataka watuweke mafungu kwa mafungu kila wakati ili waweze kututawala tusiwe na sauti kule.
Na sisi tayari tumeruka kwenye chama cha serikali, tutasimama kwa chama cha JAP.
Kwamba kuna watu fulani Mombasa wanafikiri hao ndio watatutawala na kutuongoza sisi wa Mijikenda. Wanafikiri wataweka wabunge pwani nzima, madiwani na kila mtu.
There is a section of observers who reckon that President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputies' forays in the region have earned them a political fortune. However, critics such as Mombasa Senator Hassan Omar Hassan hold different views.
The elections will come in 2017. I can guarantee you that the overwhelming people who will be elected to various positions of elections in this region will be those who have a code ticket.
Both regional and grassroots Jubilee leaders are currently galvanizing their side to make a strong delegates list ahead of the Saturday launch, even as ODM plans a mega bash in Mombasa to counter the Jubilee focus. The Coast Region may not have significantly supported the Jubilee coalition in the last general election, but now the new warm-ups may just open a fresh era altogether, something that may make them now ask for equity within the Jubilee matrix. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Mombasa.
Let's move away from that story, shall we? But stick to politics. And CORD leader Raila Odinga is daring ODM leaders who have shifted their allegiance to Jubilee to leave the Orange Party without any hesitation. Raila says the party will not fill the vacuum left as other leaders and aspirants are standing by to take up those positions. He was speaking in Kakamega, where he is on a 5-day tour.
Lurambi and Navaholo constituencies were the focus for CORD leader Raila Odinga on the third day of his tour of Kakamega County. He addressed several roadside gatherings before a rally at the Sisoke market. The tour by Raila is expected to help consolidate support for the Orange Democratic Movement in the region after the party lost some leaders, including its Secretary General Ababu Namwamba and Vice Chairman Paul Wotoma, as other leaders, among them Mumias East MP Benjamin Washiali, advanced the Jubilee agenda. Only last week, Kwale Governor Salim Vuria shifted allegiance to Jubilee.
Wale wameshanadiwa wameenda kule, anaongea juu ya mambo atio mimi ati mimi nataka mambo pale ambayo kuna maendeleo, pale ambayo kuna asali. Ati kwa Raila ni vitendawili peke yake. Vitendawili peke yake. Lakini tendawili mimi nitasema. Si nitasema tendawili.
The CORD leader is daring those abandoning the ODM ship to do so quick.
ODM ataweka atajiunga na JAP. Hapana. Sisi nguvu yetu iko kwa wananchi. Wale ambao wanataka kwenda.
He dismissed as inconsequential the move by leaders joining Jubilee.
Sisi kuna wengi ambao wataingia. Na sisi tuko vile vile na aspirant ambaye sasa ile anatoka namna hii ameingia nafasi yake. Ile hakuna mwanya. Kama sivyo, nataka mwanya ibaki.
Raila's tour of Western comes as Jubilee prepares for the merger of 12 parties to form the Jubilee Party.
Uko Nairobi ile sherehe ambao uko nayo Nairobi bilioni 2 siku moja, na tuko na watu wetu wengi ambao wanalala njaa.
On Thursday, Raila will visit Malava constituency before winding up his tour on Friday in Lugari and Likuyani constituencies. ODM will on Saturday be celebrating its 10th anniversary in Mombasa in an event dubbed 10 at 10. Drita Tinina, KTN News.
Thank you for staying with us here on KTN Prime. On our big question discussion, a reminder, we are focusing on the Jubilee National Convention, ODM criticizing the Jubilee Coalition for the spending that has been seen over the last few days. We are asking you, is ODM justified in questioning Jubilee spending? Keep texting us on 22155 and tweeting us at Ben_Kitili, at KTN News, at KTN Kenya on hashtag Jubilee Deep Pockets. Shall be sampling for you some of the text and tweets during this live newscast. We're taking a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll give you the latest from the interviews for the position of Chief Justice. Stay with us. Welcome back to KTN Prime. Now, police officers in Nakuru have arrested 2 persons, that is people from Uganda, at Freehold Estate in Nakuru for allegedly indulging in witchcraft. The officers received complaints of suspicious activities from the tenants whenever clients frequented the suspect's house. There were also claims that the suspects were conning the public, claiming to have healing powers to treat ailments such as arthritis and ulcers. The police recovered items including feathers, bells, animal skin, and drugs, among others, believed to be used for practicing witchcraft. Nakuru Police Boss Joshua Mukata says the officers are looking for the other suspect who escaped. The 2 will be taken to court, where they will be charged for being in the country illegally and indulging in illegal business. Welcome back. This is KTN Sports. For a second day, the National Olympics Committee of Kenya had a date with the David Were-chaired Labour and Social Welfare Parliamentary Committee. The committee pointed out that this time round they never appointed or elected an overall team captain, with the Sports Secretary Hassan Wario, his PS Richard Ekai, and Stephen Soy being pointed out as being responsible for some key decisions that were made. KTN's Moses Wahisi reports from Parliament.
For second day running, the National Olympics Committee was before the Parliamentary Labour and Social Welfare Committee to explain what happened in regards to the handling of the 2016 Team Kenya to the Rio Olympics. The National Olympics Committee argued their case and a new brother claimed that there was no overall team captain for the Kenyan delegation, something that Wesley Koril, the MP Charangani and also the member of the committee, did not take lightly.
How Mheshimiwa Wesley Koril assigned himself the role of overall team captain, that one to date, I think my colleagues are here, can attest to this. We never, at any point, gave him that assignment.
When we came to State House, the boxing endorsed, the rugby endorsed, everybody endorsed. So I didn't select myself. So coming here and telling us that I selected myself is bullshit.
You need to withdraw that. You need to withdraw that and apologize.
Okay, I withdraw and apologize to the members.
The committee was also informed that the National Olympics Committee was not part of some of the decisions made prior to the Olympics, with the Chief de Mission Stephen Soi, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Hassan Wario, and his Permanent Secretary Richard Ekai being the main point in which some of the decisions were made.
The ministry, through Sports Kenya, forced a transfer of about 29 million shillings to the NOC accounts. Our treasurer was not in agreement with that transfer. And this money, 4.1, was to be used to buy medicines and about 25 million for accommodation. So you can see the process was not right, because the PS could have drawn the money from their ministry account directly.
In the minutes tabled to the Parliamentary Committee, the steering committee paid allowances for 12 planning meetings that the Cabinet Secretary had earlier reported to have been held. And according to Stephen Soi, only 3 meetings were held.
3 meetings only were held by the steering committee. So in terms of budgetary preparation for those meetings and the sitting allowances, Mr. Chairman, I cannot tell you today whether the allowances for the steering committee has been paid or not, because I'm not aware. I'm a member of that steering committee. I have not been paid to date.
The embattled NOC officials argued that they deserve praise, insisting that the team oversaw the country's best ever showing at the Olympic Games. The David Were Labour and Social Welfare Parliamentary Committee has had a fair share of hearings. First, it was from the Cabinet Secretary, and today the National Olympics Committee has been on the spot. But for NOC, it is not yet over, because they need to face the same committee next week on Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. to clarify on some issues that still remain pending. Moses Wahesi, KTN Sports. As the National Olympics Committee officials, as well as the Sports Secretary Hassan Wario, continued to answer to questions about the Rio Olympic Games mismanagement, a team of 9 athletes are looking to fly the country's flag at the Paralympic Games, still in Rio, whose opening ceremony kicks off later tonight. The Rio Paralympic Games will be held from the 9th to the 17th of September. The party is challenging the ruling Jubilee coalition to explain the source of money that has been splashed out for the launch of the new Jubilee party. We did ask you on our big question discussion tonight, is ODM justified in questioning Jubilee's spending? A lot of responses from you. Isa Hassan tweets, yes, I think the role of the opposition in any government is to hold the government to account. It's Kenya says, ODM promises a major display of 47 buses and 800 plus cars, but with the same mouth castigates JP's 47 Prados. Ken Leshan Sankale says on Twitter, yes, multi-billions for launching a party for ruling side must be questioned to secure the public interest. LH Mwabiti says, we are living in an era of openness and accountability, and since they are our leaders, they ought to be open. Bing Charlie says, the millions being splashed by Jubilee party launch are questionable. The Don Joguna on Twitter says, they are not telling us where their money is coming from either. Double standards. Mugambi tweets, parties are allocated funds for your information. Zao ODM wanapeleka wapi? ODM is someone's business. Super producer says, if our football referee would red card ODM for being crybabies. And finally, 1 year from Makalo says, court is not justified. Jubilee is a big party and must spend big. Finally, Collins Kajwang, yes, Jubilee should explain the source of this money. Remember, Eurobond and NYS scandals are still unexplained. Many thanks for participating in our big question discussion.
And that's where we leave it on the broadcast tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ben Kitili. Coming up at the top of the hour is The Last Word with Sophia Wanuna here on KTN News. You do not want to miss that discussion. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ben Kitili. Good night from the KTN News Center.